The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily the views of the WARE staff, management, or our sponsors.
Hateful by the committee to elect Deborah Boronsky for state senator at boronskyforsenate.com and is responsible for the content of this program.
Jobs are the number one solution to helping our communities get back on their feet. So what should we be doing now to get our economy moving? Taking Care of Business is a weekly show hosted by Deborah Boronsky, president of the Massachusetts Chamber of Commerce and candidate for state senate. Deborah will introduce local business owners and discuss what we should be doing to help them grow so they can hire more people. Now, here's Deborah.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Taking Care of Business. Happy Friday to everyone listening. This is Deborah Boronsky, and I am the president of the Massachusetts Chamber of Commerce and candidate for state senate in the 1st Camden, New Hampshire district. For those of you who don't know, that is East Longmeadow, Longmeadow, Camden, Wilbraham, Belchertown, and Ludlow, and parts of Chicopee and Springfield. Taking Care of Business is a weekly talk show that we use to introduce local business people and other guests to talk about the importance of jobs in our local communities. We all know that jobs are the number one solution to helping our communities grow and get back on their feet. Today, more than 250,000 people are out of work, and there's no need for it. We have people who want to hire our out-of-work folks. We just need to find ways to get them there. Today, my special guest is Peter Salerno, and we're actually going to talk a lot about the availability of jobs today and the reason that they're not being filled. Peter is a very interesting guy. He's from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. He's very active in local government and currently serves as the chairman of the Hamden-Wilbraham Regional School Committee. He's also the president and lead consultant for a company called Management Solutions out of Wilbraham. Management Solutions is in existence to help schools develop financial and operational strategies, schools and other nonprofits, to help them gain the revenue they need to succeed. So welcome, Peter, to Taking Care of Business.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here.
Very good. So what I like to do, so that all the folks that are listening out there have an idea of who you are, if you would just take a few minutes and introduce yourself to our listening audience. Tell them who you are, where you came from.
Well, thank you very much. I came to the Western Mass area back in 1971 to join a company actually pretty local to this community up in West Warren, and that was William E. Wright Company.
Yeah, bows.
It was more than that. It was home sewing, and it was bows and ribbons, and it was probably one of the better companies that I've ever been associated with. The people were great. The atmosphere of working there was wonderful, and it demonstrated to me once again the vibrancy of what a good organization should be. And it was an organization that was founded on family values. The Wrights family of companies is what we worked on, and it built trust and respect amongst the management and the people who worked there.
I'm going to go back to something that we talked about before we got started. When you said that, when I looked at your resume and we talked about the fact that you worked for Wrights Corporation, back in the day when I worked for Sunshine Village, we found jobs for people with disabilities. We also brought work into a workshop for folks who weren't ready to actually be out in the community. And one of the things we did was subcontract work for Wrights Corporation. We actually bagged bows, which is why I said that.
Well, and you know something, the partnership that we have with nonprofits and the interrelationship of partners between the for-profit industry and the social service industries is essential to a strong and a healthy. We weave a fabric of love around our work.
I love that. That's a fabulous thing to say. And Wrights, again, I think it's a great example of the importance of business in our community, because not only, and I know we're going to go back and forth with this, but not only did Wrights Corporation employ how many people?
Well, actually, over 1,000.
Over 1,000, and they're not there anymore, are they?
No, unfortunately, they moved to Tennessee and subsequently, moved again, I think, as I understand it.
Yeah.
But I was there during the heyday and during the time that we had over 700 people in the local community, in addition to our Pennsylvania facility.
So Rights
working.
Corporation employed 700 local people. They provided services and support to nonprofits. Just another example of why it is so important for our elected officials to make it easier for businesses to succeed and thrive in Massachusetts, because it's a tremendous loss.
I think it goes without saying that, again, the partnership that we need to have in business and in government is to make it easy for businesses to succeed, not make it difficult for them to accomplish what they need to accomplish. And business has a responsibility as well to have a high standard to the people and the community it serves, without which we are nothing but a name.
Right, you're absolutely right. What did you do after Rights?
Oh, well, I'm not sure people even thought I did anything while I was at Rights, but after Rights, I was at Rights. I was the chief financial officer, and I was a member of the board of directors. I moved on to Taylor Rental and became their senior VP and chief financial officer there at Taylor, and that was acquired by Stanley Works. So I worked for Stanley Works in their acquisitions and mergers department for 7 or 8 years. And then established my own business in the 90s for a brief time, all of which, during that process, learning a lot about the importance of respect for people in business and what it's needed, both from the political sphere as well as from the sphere of social responsibility. We are our brother's keepers, and we really need to work together to build that relationship. So we not become an organization or a company that has looked like some cold-hearted operation. It's a vibrant, living mechanism.
Right. Right. I have, there have been some folks who feel that corporate welfare, they call it corporate welfare, is a bad thing, and really, there's no such thing, in my opinion. When you provide an incentive to a company to stay and grow and employ your local people, the payback for that incentive, perhaps a tax break or allowing them to exist and grow for a few years before they have to pay those taxes, that's not welfare. That's smart government.
If you take a look at the history of our area, we've lost a lot of jobs because of some of the policies. Although they seemingly are designed to help people, they in effect have the opposite effect. We are losing more jobs in this arena, in this area. As a result, we become a weaker community. Now, tax breaks, that's an entirely subject that we could spend hours on. But the issue is the partnership between a company earning money, and I mean earning money, and then reinvesting that money into the community through payroll. I mean, what is the best social program in the world? It's a job, a well-paying job in a good community that you can be proud of. And that's what led me into, ultimately, later on in my career, trying to help children through education, through that process.
Yeah. And really, that's why you're here. I mean, we talk about, again, it's so important to me to talk about supporting businesses. I support primarily small businesses, and you would qualify for that. You, after your years in the corporate world, started your own company. You are self-employed.
That is correct.
And I applaud people who take that. It's not easy being self-employed. Every day you have to wake up and make sure that the customer that you earned yesterday is happy today, and you have to continually look for that next customer. You are making your own living.
Relationships is what life is about. It's not just business life or corporate life or social life. It's a relationship between you and your employee to make sure that person, that individual, can go home at night feeling proud of what they accomplished during the day. At the right company, we did that.
Yeah.
We had an awful lot of people feeling good. And the ups and downs of business has this effect. During the hard times, and the companies go up and down on good years and bad years. During the bad years, we leaned toward the company to make sure that the company was strong enough to be able to continue in business, as you would normally do. During the good years, however, we didn't just put that money in the bank, and we gave it to the people who stayed with us during the lean years. So it was that relationship of business that is, I think, lost to a certain extent in what I see between government and business today.
I agree with that 100%. I'll tell you what, I want to talk about what you're doing now and the key reason that you're here, but we're going to take a couple of minutes to have a quick break, and we'll be right back.
This is John Mayberry, president of Mayberry Material Handling. Established in 1976, we are Southern New England's largest one-source supplier of crown forklifts, racking, shelving, dock and door equipment, and much, much more. We offer new products, rental, service, parts, installation, and custom welded solutions. 2014 is bringing growth for us, so we are interviewing now for road, forklift mechanics, and sales professionals in the Springfield, Hartford, New Haven areas. You can contact us at mayberry.com. That's MAYBURY.com, or email jobs@mayberry.com.
Welcome back to Taking Care of Business. This is Deborah Boronsky. I'm the president of the Massachusetts Chamber of Commerce, and I'm a candidate for state senate in the 1st Camden, Hampshire district. This is Taking Care of Business, and what we talk about on this show is how we can take care of the small businesses in our communities, the businesses in our communities, so that they can create jobs and hire those people who are important to us. These small businesses hire our children, our family members, and our friends, and it's so very important that we understand the value they bring to our community, and that value is that they give us the best gift, which is a job that pays us so that we can live the lives we hope to live, save for our futures, and move forward. Today my guest is Peter Salerno. Peter is a resident of Wilbraham, Massachusetts, and president and lead consultant for a company called Management Solutions in Wilbraham. But really, the reason Peter is here today is because he is also the executive director of the Roger L. Putnam Technical Fund. This fund is in existence to help students and teachers work towards succeeding in the vocational and academic arena. It's really quite interesting what he does, and I think the importance of talking about what he does and why really brings itself back around to the importance of supporting businesses and jobs. So, Peter, please, why don't you go about talking about that role that you play as executive director and what that's all about?
Thank you very much. The Roger L. Putnam Technical Fund was established several years ago by some visionary business leaders in Springfield. They asked me to participate in it about 3 years ago. The critical role is to figure out how we can enhance the futures of the future of our children in school. The critical role of vocational education in providing industry with the needed skilled workers and leaders must be an important consideration to the business community. That is the fundamental principle upon which we go. We want our children and our students to be able to go out and get a very well-paying job so that they can look back with pride as to what they've accomplished. Having Putnam provide the relevant education, the Putnam Academy, and job skill training, which allows each student to have an opportunity, not a guarantee, but an opportunity to go to college or to a job career at their graduation, is an important objective and a huge benefit, we believe, for the business community, for the school, and for the students.
I am so pleased that we're talking about this. One of my previous guests was Michael Boucher from Custom Auto Body, and he talked about, and actually John Mayberry, one of my guests, the same thing. They were not bound for college. Not everyone is bound for college. There are people who have other interests and abilities that they want to put to use. But if all we ever talk about is a 4-year degree, then we are leaving so many of our children behind. And it is so important for us to talk about the vocational answer, which, quite honestly, most of the jobs that I'm aware of in the vocational industry are extremely well-paying jobs. Plumbers, electricians, mechanics. Let's talk about that.
Without a doubt. I mean, I think first of all, the opportunity to go to college is always something that we should try to allow our students to have.
Absolutely.
The opportunity. But and I joke a lot, so you'll probably hear me. But I don't want my son, the attorney, to fix my plumbing system. I just think that that's a problem.
Big problem.
And please, John, my son, I'm not picking on you. But it's a requirement. It's a celebration of the diverse workforce that we have. We need folks at every level of responsibility to work together, not just the upper echelon. And we need to bring together those folks and those people, that group of the cadre of workers, for a common purpose. And that purpose is to have a future for themselves.
That's right. That's right. And I have to say that, you hear so many young people today having graduated from college and gotten their marketing degree or their degree in, theology or business. And now they're trying to find a job, but they're not. So they're moving back home with mom and dad, trying to pay off their loans, which is a whole nother conversation I can have.
Yeah.
The cost of an education is just ridiculous, and again, that'll be another show. But they're going to college, they're getting their degree, and they're coming home, and they have no jobs, and thus that affects the whole market. They're not buying first homes, they're not buying appliances. It's a domino effect, so to speak. And again, I'm not discouraging people either. I think college is an opportunity that everyone should have in their lives.
Absolutely.
But there are other ways to make a good living and find work. And let's talk about some of the training and some of the opportunities that people can get.
I think the issues that we have at Putnam, over 20 different skill sets, different departments for vocational enhancement. Now, incidentally, I want to make it very clear that we also have a strategic and effective and one of the best academic programs. So the kids are working, or the students are working in tandem. They have 1 week of education, academic education, 1 week at vocation, and yet our MCAS scores have gone up consistently over the 4 years that we've done. So we're not focusing strictly on skill sets. We're focusing on the overall assets the student brings to us.
Well, isn't it true? I was an adult learner, so I did not have the privilege or ability to go to college. When I graduated from high school, I had to work. That was my family situation. I've been working since I was 14, and college just wasn't a conversation we had at the dinner table. And so I went back to college when my son was 3. But when you're an adult, and I wasn't, had I had the opportunity to go to college, I'm not sure what kind of student I would have been. I was a very busy person. I think a vocational aspect for me would have been something that I would have been driven toward. As an adult learner, I did a much better job in college than I did when I was in school because I was motivated. And what I'm trying to get to is when you're in a vocational program learning a skill, then learning the academic side of that is probably a lot more applicable and easier than if you're just studying the academic side of it.
I think we're very proud of the students and how they attack problems. The academic strength that they bring to a vocational problem is really, it's like bringing a ladder to get on the second floor of a building. They know how to do it.
Right.
They climb that ladder with ease and no problems at all. The key for us is there are many, many jobs that are going wanting in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for lack of skilled labor force. And guess what? If you don't have a skilled labor force, you don't have businesses that are going to be able to benefit from that skill. If businesses leave to go to another state or even more geographically further than that, another country, we are losing essentially the labor force. So our focus is let's build a very strong academic, vocational, technical labor force so that we provide what the businesses in this area need and demand to be successful.
I think that's fabulous. And we do, to talk about college, we are blessed in this area, our knowledge corridor. We have some of the finest colleges.
Without a doubt.
And we are so very blessed. And so I think that anyone who wants college has that opportunity, at least locally, to choose from. So But the vocational side of it, there are some vocational schools. There's Chicopee Comp. There's
Dean Tech.
Dean Tech.
There's Worcester.
In Westfield, there's a phenomenal vocational
Absolutely.
program that I'm aware of. I've actually had a tour. They've showed me some of the machines that they have. You can take a picture and it will create a 3D actual product. What are those? I don't know what those are called.
We have a CAD/CAM issues. We have CAD/CAM opportunities for our kids. We do the same thing in many areas. But what we really do is we blend both the knowledge that they get in the classroom with the knowledge they get in the company. And incidentally, going to college, many of our great employers around here that we have provide opportunities to go to college for their people.
Yes.
One of the statistics that maybe we should just drop on this show is that there are thousands upon thousands of computer numeric control operators, CNC operators, which cannot be filled. These are jobs that are unable to be filled because we have not trained our people to do it. If you can't get a good labor force, what are you going to do? You're going to relocate your company.
Right.
I mean, to the extent that you need that labor force. So the partnership to build the correct labor force is what we try to do.
So we have all these unemployed people
Yes.
looking for a job.
And we have jobs that are
We have
waiting
all
for
these
them
jobs that are unfilled
because
the unemployed people
do
don't
not have the skill
skills that they
sets.
need.
And so what we're trying to do is work with them, with the businesses. See, the partnership again, we talk partnerships a lot. You'll hear me say that over and over again. It is not us versus them,
No, it's
the
not.
business versus labor. I mean, that to me is a silly argument that people use to divide us rather than to use to bring us together. What we really need is being brought together for the common purpose of building a good economy so that everyone can benefit from this and not just one segment over another.
Let's talk about the partnerships you have. So you work directly with some businesses to develop the curriculum that you're teaching at Putnam Technical.
That's correct.
They're advising you, and you're building your curriculum around their needs.
Exactly. We go out, not only do we ask for their support, but we also have our groups come in and advise us. They will advise us as to what is necessary in the business. I no longer want to teach lithographing in my high school curriculum. I really want to have an opportunity to have offset printing taught, to have high-tech 4-color, 5-color programs so that our kids can come to a major